Hey friends, good morning. First online Bible study. You ready? Okay. We're going to look this morning at the first words of Jesus' first sermon. Okay. It's called the Sermon on the Mount. It's in Matthew 5 through 7. This week we're going to look at the whole of Matthew 5 through 7. But today I just want to focus on the first words. Here's how they start. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they'll be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Then you get 9 of those. We'll look at all of them in a second. The last one is, blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Now, if you've been around the church for a while, you grew up in the church, or you've been a Christian for a bit, you've likely heard those words and they begin to sound somewhat normal to you. That's true for me. If you're new to the church, you hear those words and you hear them the same way that the first hearers would have heard them 2,000 years ago, and you hear them and you think, that is crazy. Why would you start your first sermon like that? And why would you talk like this anyway? Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Does Jesus not know anything about what it's like to mourn or to be meek or to be poor in spirit? Does he not know anything about what it's like to be persecuted? What is Jesus talking about here? Okay. This morning, I want to walk through this passage. I want to point out 2 things that are super important. And then I want to leave us with 2 questions to think about. Okay, so as we get going, here's what I've got. I've got a Bible. I've got a notebook here with some notes in it and a pen. And then, of course, I got my coffee. Okay, so I hope you've got something like that. And we're just going to dive right in here. So we'll start in Matthew 5:1. It gives us a little bit of context. And then we'll jump into this sermon, the Sermon on the Mount. Okay. 5:1. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up to the mountain. So the crowds are going to be people in the region of Galilee, which is north of Jerusalem, where Jesus grew up. And the crowds are likely made up of people that he's been healing or family members of people that he's been healing. He hasn't taught anything yet. He's made some proclamations and he's healed a bunch of people, and a gathering has gathered around him. At this point, it's probably not the elites of society. These are kind of the down and out, the downtrodden, and he's got his disciples there also. So he's got these crowds on this hillside, and he went up to the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. This crowd likely came also. And then he began to speak, and he taught them, saying, and here's the first words of the first sermon that we have recorded. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they'll be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they'll be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And then finally, blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Okay, let's talk about this word blessed or blessed. It's the Greek word makarios, and it can be translated blessed. That's good. It can also be translated as happy, or my favorite translation is fortunate. This Greek word makarios, it's not a religious word. It was used in all kinds of Greek literature, and initially, the earliest uses of it, it was used to refer to the gods. Okay, this is what it means to be makarios. You're makarios because you are above the concerns of everyday, ordinary people. The gods didn't have to worry about how to provide for their families. They didn't have to worry about illness, all of those things. They were makarios. They were fortunate, blessed, happy, whatever it is. And then in time, authors, poets began to use makarios to refer to certain kinds of people. Who do you think those people were, at least initially? Well, it was the people who were above the concerns of everybody else. It was particularly the wealthy. They didn't have to worry about providing for their families. So you were makarios, again, if you were above the concerns of everybody else. You're happy, you're blessed, you're fortunate. Well, and then you begin to get these beatitudes, these blessed are statements for all kinds of people. Blessed are the healthy, blessed are those with lots of kids, those kinds of things. In fact, in the Old Testament, you see lots of these beatitudes. So this formula is not strange. It's not odd that Jesus starts with a blessed statement. It's odd that he starts with 9 blessed statements about the poor in the spirit and the meek and those who mourn and those who are persecuted. Why is Jesus saying that these people are blessed? Okay, this is the way that I understood this for years. People call these the to be attitudes. Okay, it comes off the name that we call these the Beatitudes. The to be attitudes, meaning that this is the attitude that we should have. We should be poor in spirit. We should be meek. We should mourn. All those things, but they never really made a lot of sense to me. I don't think that's what's actually going on here. I'm with Dallas Willard, one of the just spiritual giants of the last century. In his book, The Divine Conspiracy, he says what's going on here is not that this is the way that we should be. What's going on here is that if you think about the crowd around Jesus, the downtrodden, the down and out, all of those things. It's a group of people that would have heard Beatitudes before. They had heard people say, blessed are all the things we talked about before. They'd heard that before. But it's a group of people that had never heard a beatitude about themselves. It's a group of people that nobody had ever told them that they were blessed. Sure, the healthy and the wealthy are blessed and all those things. God favors those people. Nobody had ever sat down with them and said, no. You are one of the fortunate ones. You're one of the blessed ones. I know that you're not wealthy, and I know that many of you, you're healthy now because Jesus has healed you. And some of you still aren't healthy. Jesus hasn't healed you yet. But you are fortunate. You are blessed. Also, this isn't a list of all the people that are blessed. This is a list of the people that are blessed that nobody thought before Jesus sat down with them. Nobody thought they would have made the list. Nobody thought these people would have been considered blessed. So as I reflect on this morning, here's what I sit here thinking. Do I know this? Do I know that I'm one of the fortunate, that I'm one of the blessed? Not because of my external circumstances, okay? Not because I'm sitting in this house, not because I have this good coffee, not because I have family, not because of any of that. Do I know that I'm blessed? Not because of those things, but I'm blessed just like these people were blessed. Because I have the opportunity to sit at the feet of Jesus, the one who loves me, the one who chooses me. You see, these people weren't blessed because of their external circumstances. Jesus knows they're blessed because you can sit with me and learn from me. You're blessed because in 3 years, I'm going to do something that you don't even know about yet that will utterly transform not only the world, but it will transform you. You're blessed not because of what's happening around you, but you're blessed because I am choosing you. You're blessed because you're beloved. Do you know that this morning, friends? And that's something good to talk about today. You can talk about it in the comment section. You can talk about it with your friends, with your family, on the phone, or in person. Do you know that you're blessed? You can even write a beatitude about yourself. Blessed am I for what? I mean, it's a good way to think about all the things that you're grateful for, but don't get lost here. The purpose of this is not just that. It's not just to say that you're blessed because of all the great things that you have. It's good to be grateful. But this is saying, no, you're blessed, not because of all those things. You're blessed because Jesus chooses you, because he loves you. Do you know that? So that's question number 1. Do you know that this morning? And then question number 2 is, who do you know that has never heard a beatitude about themselves? Who do you know that either is so wrapped up in the material things of the world, or that just is kind of downtrodden, down and out for a variety of different reasons? Who do you know that doesn't know that they're blessed, that desperately needs to hear today? Maybe it's going to be from you. That needs to hear today that they are blessed. Not because of anything around them, but because they are someone that God has chosen. Okay? Look. We are blessed because we are beloved. Do you know that? And do you know somebody that needs to hear that? Okay, today, let's take some time to think about those 2 questions, talk about it with some family and friends, and then tomorrow we're going to continue looking at the rest of Matthew 5. Over the next week, we're going to look at Matthew 5 through 7, the whole Sermon on the Mount. Tomorrow, you can read ahead. We're going to look at the rest of chapter 5. God bless you. I hope that you have a good day today.